He's the quintessential community activist. He's so smart, and he has an uncanny ability to get good things done.
I think of the work that he did, particularly in the state legislature, to ensure that we had a fair and just system that took the needs of the child first and disregarded really the needs and the desires, mostly the political desires of the adults in the system. And he cast aside what he thought was the politically expedient thing to do in favor of what was the morally right thing to do, to ensure that every child had a fighting chance to grow up to be a productive, contributing citizen in our state. And he did this with grace, he did this with thoughtfulness, but he never backed down from what was the morally just thing to do. I think that's his greatest accomplishment.
He was really the key spokesperson on children's issue in the legislature. And as you take a look at their Department of Children or Early Learning, it had to do with Kip Tokuda, who created that. And if it wasn't for him, that department wouldn't be there. And his department is to put children first and foremost on people's mind and make sure that services are being provided to parents. And hopefully those services are going to be ones that the children had obviously learned from and be able to be as successful as they possibly can be. But Kip Tokuda was the main person who brought that forth and said that this is my issue, this is what I want to do, and he did it.
Has always been two things: committed to helping other people and a lot of fun. And I remember a lot of fun things, but I don't think I can say them on this video.
Sometimes he says the funniest things, which I don't feel free to repeat.
So we had a little game that we would play in the legislature, and it was kind of a friendly, if you will, sibling rivalry. We teased each other about being each other's session spouses. And my first session, I was walking down the hallway that both of our offices faced, and I could hear all this commotion coming from his office. Well, Kip was in there with a couple of other male legislators. Just, you know, it was late at night, we were all done for the day, and they were relaxing and trading stories and whatnot. And Kip saw me walk by and he yelled out, "Hey honey, go get me a beer." And I said to him, "Hey honey, go get it yourself."
I've never been able to beat him in tennis, and that's what really ticks me off. You know, his strings on his racket were like 12, you know, tennis, and so his ball would just lob, and you'd see it coming and you'd want to kill it, boom, and bang, right into the net. So one of these days, Kip, a little bit later on, when you're 75 and I'm 80 or whatever it's going to be, I'll get you on the court.
Kip always thought he was a basketball player too, and one of the things that we did is we went down to play against the Asian inmates down at Monroe Penitentiary. And it turned out that most of the guys that we were playing with were all murderers. And so we were saying, well, I guess we better not foul them. And so at the end of the game, we noticed that Kip's guy actually scored over 50 points. Good going, Kip. Let that guy get 50 points on you.
He'll never be associated with people like Tiger Woods or, gosh, even me on the golf course. I think that's one legacy about Kip. But he's fun to golf with, I'll say that. And he is improving, slightly.
Kip will have to long be remembered for is his engagement of community, and especially making sure that he established a pipeline for others to follow in his footsteps through community-based organizations, through the establishment of ACLF.
He was able to recruit some good people, very smart people, and people who are actionable. They want action. They want to make things happen. And got me to go in front of the JACL board as the treasurer, and I felt somewhat of a conflict of interest and asked for $10,000 to help ACLF get off the ground. Now, understand this, is like nobody on the JACL board really understood the concept, and 10 grand is a lot of money, but we got it through. And then after a year later, I think ACLF was still putting their thing together, and you know, the board members were asking me, it's like, what the hell's going on? What's ACLF doing? What are they doing with our money? And there was, I'll have to admit, there was a little bit of a doubt. Maybe a little bit more than just a little bit, because I was hearing it, but it got off the ground. Now look what's happened with ACLF. It's truly a community institution. It's something that we've had a number of individuals, wonderful individuals in our community, including my good friend Tatsuo, and many other good friends have gone through the program, who's gone on to do great things for the community.
You know, founding that organization and helping to create a safe space for young API emerging leaders to learn more about the community and to hone their skills and to become larger leaders in the community is a very, very wonderful thing.